Alright, let's wrap this series up with the final installment of my Killing Floor 2 differences and changes video. So, let's get right into it. I'm tired, because I've been recording these things straight back to back, so I've been talking for over like 2 hours now, which is quite unusual for someone like me who doesn't talk too much. Anyways, so, moving on to the enemies, which is the last the aspect of Killing Floor 2 that I wanted to touch upon. Normal Zeds aren't really a problem, just like in Killer for 1, they're not really that threatening. You don't need to feel threatened by them or feel like they can kick your ass or anything until you start getting swarmed. Especially on higher rounds and higher difficulties, they'll come at you in full force, and if you're not careful, they can definitely screw you up. They will. Trust me on that. So make sure you know you and your teammates do a good job of keeping them at bay, and make sure that they're not getting in your way whenever you're trying to deal with the Scrake or a raging flesh pound that's beating that ass. But yeah, they are not a threat until you let them be. I will say though that the devs have done a very good job of making them very well animated. Because I'll talk about this later in higher difficulty, when I get around to talking about the difficulties in Killing Floor 2, but they are very well animated. The devs have explained this in their YouTube interviews. They're just really well done. The sirens in Killing Floor 2 are a lot stronger in Killing Floor 2. Did I just say that twice in a row? Let me repeat. Start from scratch. The sirens feel a lot stronger than they were in Killing Floor 1 and Killing Floor 2, in my opinion, though. In Killing Floor, but it's kind of different because the sirens in Killing Floor 1, they were a lot more dangerous in the amount of damage that they did. In Killing Floor 2, I don't really feel threatened by sirens as much because I just don't feel like they do a lot of damage at all. And maybe that could just be because of the fact that sirens in Killing Floor 1, just when you get within range of a siren's scream, it'll just distort your screen like mad, and it just drives you crazy, or it just annoys the hell out of you, and it just feels like they're doing a lot of damage. Killing Floor 2, it's not that bad. At least the effects that you get on your screen, not in terms of how much damage they're actually doing, but what you see on your screen when your vision gets distorted by a siren screen going off nearby. However, once come close like 3 sirens in a row, they all scream at once. Yeah, you're gonna feel it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But sirens in Killing Floor 2, the reason why I say I think they're stronger is because I think they're a lot more resistant to damage. In Killing Floor 1, I just have this feeling that, I just have the sense that sirens are really easy to take care of. Maybe it's because I just usually use have sharpshooters, just crossbow them in the head or something like that, and just bam, one hitter quitter of them. But in Killing Floor 2, the sirens are actually pretty tough. They don't look like they will be, but they are actually really, really tough. Headshotting them isn't really an easy thing to do at all because they will take a lot of shots to the head before they go down. So yeah, but if you do manage to headshot them, shoot their heads off, then they will stop screaming. But it's like by the point that by the time you actually do deal enough damage to them that their heads are gone, they're probably gonna die anyway. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Husks are a lot stronger in Killing Floor 2 than they are in Killing Floor 1. That is for a fact. In Killing Floor 1, the Husks were more annoying than anything else. Their melee attacks were pretty strong, but the fireballs that they shot at you, it's like yeah, they were annoying, and they did considerable amounts of damage, but it's like, nah, whatever. But in Killing Floor 2, the Husks are more threatening than they are in Killing Floor 1 because they actually have 2 mounts of attacks because they have a flamethrower. When you get close, they'll actually try to burn you with their flamethrower instead of firing a husk ball at you. And the husk ball that they do fire at you, I think deals more damage than they did in Killing Floor 1, and they're just overall a bigger threat. However, you can still headshot them pretty easily. I think it takes like a few more bullets than it did in Killing Floor 1, but you can still headshot them relatively easily, and they can't really do much until they die. On higher difficulties, however, they will choose to self-destruct if their HP gets low enough. And what happens is when you get a husk down to low end of HP, they're gonna charge at you like really fast. Like they're gonna move as fast as Skrakes do when you get aggroed on you, and they'll just run up to you. They'll just pound their guns onto the ground, and they're just gonna charge the husk ball, and they just bam, suicide. And when he suicides, or when a husk suicides, no one gets EXP for that. So if you see a husk charging in to suicide you or suicide himself, in order to damage other teammates, you might want to shoot him as fast as possible and kill him, because when he does that, chances are he's only a few shots away from death, and anything else will just kill him outright. And as long as he dies, everyone who did damage to him will get the EXP that they deserve for shooting a husk. However, if he does manage to suicide himself, that suicide blast deals a lot of damage. It really does. I remember getting running away from a husk that I ran out of ammo, completely out of ammo, and that husk was charging at me. I was like, "Oh fuck, gotta run!" I pulled out my knife and I started running. I remember I had like 50 or 60 HP left, but no armor. Husk suicides, I'm dead. It does a lot of damage. Let me tell you that. It hurts. It really hurts. So, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you should kill a husk before he suicides on you. On higher difficulties as well, the Zeds will actually get out of the way if they sense a husk behind them shooting a fireball, trying to shoot a fireball past them. And this is actually a really cool detail that I've noticed in that Killing Floor 2 has on top of a lot of other small details I think are really neat. The fact that when a husk charges up a fireball, Zeds in front of it will actually get out of the way for it, so they can avoid getting in the crossfire and getting burnt to a crisp themselves. So that's a really cool feature that I've noticed happen a lot, and it's just a really good attention to detail on the devs' part. Moving on, the bloats, I mean, they're annoying as usual. They're basically the same as they were in Killing Floor 1. They just throw up on you. They're really freaking annoying. They even shit on you, too. But, that's neither here nor there. In Killing Floor 1, you could get away with getting close to a bloat and managing to avoid their vomit. In Killing Floor 2, if you get anywhere close to a bloat who's not stumbled, he will throw up on you. Guaranteed. And the vomit is really fucking annoying, just like it was in Killing Floor 1. So just be careful around bloats. They're not gonna deal a lot of damage to you per se, and they'll actually, because they hold machetes, just like it did. I don't know if they held machetes in Killing Floor 1, but in Killing Floor 2, they will actually attack you at melee range with their little stubby arms and machetes. If their vomit is on cooldown, is on cooldown. If they've already vomited already and they can't do it again for a little bit, and you're close to them, they'll just rush at you, and they'll just kind of try to chop you down with their machetes. In fact, on higher difficulties, what they'll do is, if you're close enough to them, but they're not so much so that they can vomit on you, they'll actually just try to run up to you and then vomit on you, which is pretty hilarious to see, but it's not so hilarious when they actually do it successfully and you get vomit all over your hood. So try to keep them at bay as much as possible. Skrakes are fucking insane in Killing Floor 2 for two main reasons. One, in Killing Floor 1, Skrakes didn't have as much HP as they do in Killing Floor 2. Like, straight up, Skrakes are a lot stronger in terms of both the physical attack and and in terms of health in Killing Floor 2 as opposed to Killing Floor 1. On top of that, the second reason is that Killing Floor 2, there is no sharpshooter class. In Killing Floor 1, one of the easiest ways to kill a Skrake was to have a sharpshooter, get a crossbow, aim at the head, and boom, headshot. One shot headshot to a Skrake if they were like level 4 or above or something. And if they're like any level below that, a single crossbow bolt to the head on a Skrake will stumble them and kind of stun them, so they're kind of like, kind of standing in place, kind of like hanging their heads and stunned and whatnot. And the sharpshooter can follow it up with another quick crossbow headshot, and boom, they're dead. Killing Floor 2, we don't have a sharpshooter class. We don't have any class or any weapon that will reliably one-shot Skrakes. It's just not in the game yet, and I don't even know if it's kind of a toss-up to know whether or not Killing Floor 2 will actually have a mechanic like that where, we can have like a level 5 sharpshooter be able to one-shot headshot a Scrake. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. But right now in early access, we definitely don't have that. So Scrakes are really dangerous. They really are. Especially in higher difficulties, they will attack more rapidly, and they will constantly keep on your ass. Everyone needs to focus down a Scrake, otherwise someone's gonna die. Unless, this has been a tactic that I've seen the Killing Floor 2 meta, quote-unquote, developing. The most effective way to deal with the Scrake is to let them charge in at you, and whoever is aggroed by that Scrake needs to run around in circles. This works for most heavy Zeds, including the Patriarch, but it works the best on Scrakes, where if you keep circling around them, they'll constantly try to turn towards you. But because you're constantly moving around them, or circling around them, they're just gonna try to keep tracking you down, and trying to turn around. They'll stand in place, and it lets either the guy who's constantly circling around the Scrake or his teammates or everyone else just focus fire him down until he dies. That's the easiest, simplest, and safest way to take care of a Scrake. Flesh Pounds are also a lot more dangerous than in Killing Floor 2 than they were in Killing Floor 1, somehow. In Killing Floor 1, you could nade stack Flesh Pounds and kill them quickly, or you could nade stack them, and then you can finish them off really easily with like a lot of volume of fire. In Killing Floor 2, even if you do nade stack them, they're technically weak to explosions, but even if you do nade stack them, they're not gonna die really quickly. In addition, they have different attack animations, so this means that they can attack a lot more rapidly than they did in Killing Floor 2, or in Killing Floor 1. In Killing Floor 2, that is. So again, just like the Scrakes, everyone needs to focus down a Flesh Pound, otherwise someone's gonna die. And both the Scrakes and the Flesh Pounds run when they're aggroed at a fast enough pace where only high enough level berserkers or medics who gain speed bonuses as they rank up can outrun them. Like, if you need to be at least like level 15 or 17 berserker or medic in order to outrun an aggroed Scrake or berserker, if at all. So there you go. Anyways, moving on to the final enemy, the Patriarch. So, the Patriarch in Killing Floor 2 is apparently a mad Nazi scientist who's using Horzine technology to keep himself alive. In comparison, I don't know the whole lore behind the Killing Floor 1 Patriarch, but the Killing Floor 1 Patriarch had a minigun, he had melee attacks and rockets, and that was really just about it. If you remember in Killing Floor 1, he only attacks when he aggroes someone at close range, and he cloaks himself to charge in, and he only decloaks right when he's about to melee him. He melees someone, sends them flying across the map, and then he turns to another person nearby and just mows him down with the minigun, and does this repeatedly until either everyone's dead or he's damaged enough to a point where he needs to retreat and heal himself. And when he does get damaged enough, he kind of stumbles. He tries cloaking and running away into a safe place away from the team, and to heal himself with his own medic syringe. And he he stalks your team again until he's close enough, and rinse and repeat until you actually kill him. And he does that like once. No, he does that twice or 3 times, depending on the difficulty, until he finally goes down. The Killing Floor 2 Patriarch, on the other hand, is, let's face it, he's a lot tougher. The Killing Floor 1 Patriarch gave you a break, where every time he got damaged to the point where he needs to retreat and heal himself, he spawns in a lot of normal Zeds to come distract you while he goes off and heals. Killing Floor 2 Patriarch never gives you a break. You will always have him on your ass. He's always there. He's got twin machine guns that kind of look like HG-44s, but they just fire rapidly. They're not like the Patriarch's minigun where it kind of goes like brrrr, and then just pauses and then brrrr, and like that. He fires them in shorter bursts, but much more rapidly. Kind of like drrrr, 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 if that makes any sense. I know sound effects, I'm pretty lame at them, but that's kind of what his machine guns sound like, and they will chew through your ammo like no one's business. The Killing Floor 1 Patriarch's minigun also did a lot of damage to your armor, but at a long enough range, it didn't really do that much damage. The Killing Floor 2 Patriarch, no matter what range you're at, if he shoots the machine guns at you and those bullets hit you, they will chip away your armor like no one's business. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to get hit by those machine guns at all. And instead of rockets, he throws nerve gas. He throws grenades. He throws a couple different kinds actually. He throws nerve gas grenades that are kind of like, they kind of act like bloat vomit, where if you get hit by them, it'll chew away at your armor really fast, just like his machine gun bullets, and it'll damage your actual health as well, and it'll distort your screen a little bit too. He'll also throw high explosive grenades where it'll flash red. The vomit grenades, the nerve gas grenades will flash green when he throws them at you. The high explosive grenades will flash red when he throws them at you, so you know which kinds of grenades he's throwing at you in order to try to attack you. And when you do see him, you just need to run away. As long as you react right away when you see a grenade being thrown at you, you will be okay. You're not going to get hit by them at all. However, if you do hesitate for like a second or 2 seconds, then you're going to get hit. If you get hit by a high explosive grenade, oh god, that's going to deal a lot of damage to you, man. Just pray you're not going to get instantly one-shot by grenades, because it can happen, and it will, if you're not careful. And let's see. If he also throws smoke grenades, but I'll talk about that later. It's a special kind of grenade where it doesn't really do anything but block your teammate's vision. If someone's close enough, if a teammate's close enough, he'll use his bayonets on his machine guns to attack you with melee attacks, and he attacks really, really fast. He's kind of like the Zeds with the swords on their arms on higher difficulties, where they just constantly, if they're within range, they'll just constantly bat you with their swords, and keep chipping away at your health like that. The Patriarch kind of does something similar, where he will constantly hit you with melee attacks until either you're dead or you run away far enough from him, or if you even can, that is. And in addition, he's the fastest enemy in the game. Nobody can outrun him. Not even level 25 field medics or berserkers can outrun a Patriarch who's sprinting at you. You cannot run away from him. It's just not possible. Kind of like how in Killing Floor 1, the Patriarch was also really, really fast. Instead of retreating to heal like the Killing Floor 1 Patriarch, the Killing Floor 2 Patriarch throws, like I said, smoke grenades to hide his location, and he'll target a player. Eventually, it might take him some time, but he'll target a player and he'll aggro him, and he'll grab him, and he's gonna start draining the life out of that player. While he's being life drained, that player can't do anything. He just needs to stand there until it's done. And no matter what your team does, the Patriarch will full heal, heal back to full HP, and all your team can really do is set up and wait until the Patriarch lets go of that teammate because he's at full HP, and your teammate just needs to heal that guy who's constantly getting who's being life drained so he doesn't die. If you're low enough, if you're like even at 70 HP or so, the Patriarch, depending on difficulty, can't actually kill the player he's life draining because he just drains that much life from him. And so yeah, just keep that in mind. So we used to think that being able to shoot the Patriarch while he's healing did something. In fact, in reality, it doesn't really do anything because he'll just gain back. He'll just go all the way back up to full HP, no matter how much damage you do to him while he's life draining. So it's not even. There's no point in that in actually attacking him while he's life draining. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Moving on to the next one. His lines are actually you do need to listen to his lines, because every time he does a life drain, his lines change slightly, and you can actually tell when he's on the life or the last stage of his life cycle, for lack of a better term, by the lines that he's saying. Like after, he'll say something like, "No, you cannot do this," or "No, you cannot kill me. I cannot be killed," or something like that. Something lame, that the most cliche, evil guy boss thing lines, whatever, in the universe. It'll say things like that, and you'll know when it's the last, when his last life is, and when he can't use his life drain ability anymore. Overall, I think the Killing Floor 2 Patriarch is a lot more dangerous than the Killing Floor 1 Patriarch. It's really hard to kill the Killing Floor 1 Patriarch or Killing Floor 2 Patriarch. But if you do, he gives you a whole chunk of bonus EXP for killing him. It's pretty nice actually, and yeah, you will want to try to kill the Patriarch as many times as you can. Though it's really hard to do so, and more often than not, more often than not, he will just wipe out your entire team. Unless you're playing in a multi-man server, like 30-man servers, where killing the Patriarch is not difficult at all, because you got fucking 30 guys laying on that bastard. In addition, my favorite part about the Killing Floor 2 Patriarch is that he complains about Dosh. Like one of his intro lines when you first begin the boss wave is "You impotent fools, always talking in your talk of money, talk of Dosh, Dosh, Dosh," and something like that. It's pretty funny when he says it, because Killing Floor and an obsession with Dosh. Brilliant. And finally, the difficulty. So like the devs promised in their interview videos, instead of giving just enemies more health and and generic stuff like that, raising the difficulty or playing on different difficulties means that the enemies themselves become much stronger, not just in terms of HP. They do gain a little bit of HP. Like for example, on normal Zeds, if you shoot a normal Zed with an AR-15 varmint rifle, they'll take 2 shots to the body to die. In suicidal or hard, they'll take maybe 3 bullets to kill, but it's not too much. You can still one-shot headshot them, and they will die eventually. So HP increases aren't that significant in terms of differing difficulties, but the reason why they do become their enemies become stronger is that they become more aggressive the higher difficulty you do play. For example, on suicidal difficulty, which is my favorite difficulty to play on because it gives you a lot of EXP. I'll talk about EXP gains later. Comparing suicidal Zeds to normal Zeds, the Clots and all the normal zombies, they will all run at you. They will all charge you once they are within good enough range. Whereas in normal, only the guys with the swords on their arms will charge you, and even then, they're just gonna swipe at you. And if you manage to dodge it, they're just gonna go back to walking towards you again. In suicidal mode or hard mode, even those guys, those Zeds with the swords on their arms, they will chase you and they'll constantly beat that ass in until you actually do something about them. They will actually, they are always persistent, always annoying until I actually do something about them, and that way they are actually a pretty serious threat. They're going to make your life as miserable as possible and be as annoying as they can in order to make that difficulty deserving of its name, suicidal, hell on earth, shit like that. So yeah, and the Zeds themselves get more aggressive. They also gain different attack animations. Like they'll attack more rapidly. They'll attack much, a lot more. They'll gain new attacks. Like for example, the Husk Suicide attack. The little spider Zeds will instead of just generically like scratching at you on the suicidal difficulty, they'll actually do cartwheels and constantly hit you with their legs and shit like that, and bite you and shit like that. The siren, or not the sirens, the stalkers, the cloaking Zeds will, on suicidal difficulty, they will do fucking cartwheels around you and fucking hit you with their feet, like constantly until you die or until you actually shoot them, and it's really annoying and stuff like that. So yeah, higher difficulties means much more aggressive Zeds and differing Zed behaviors. And it's really interesting how the devs have managed to pull off the difficulty mechanic in Killing Floor 2. In exchange for playing on higher difficulties, you gain more EXP. For example, in normal, you only gain like 8 EXP every time you kill or damage a Zed, a normal Zed that gets killed. Skrakes give you only about 34 EXP, and Flesh Pounds give you about 45 or something like that, 40 or something like that. On Suicidal, normal Zeds give you 11 EXP, Stalkers I think give you 10, Sirens give you plus 15, Bloats give you plus 30 for some reason, Scrake give you like plus 45 or something like that, no, plus 60, plus 63 even I think, and Flesh Pounds also give you like plus 60 or 65 or something insane like that. So on higher difficulties, the game actually rewards you for playing higher difficulties because you can rank up a lot faster playing those difficulties. as opposed to playing on just like normal or shit like that. Because in Killing Floor 1, it didn't really matter which difficulty you played. You kind of just ranked up at the same pace because of some of the objectives weren't EXP based. So yeah. One last thing is that enemies, the Zeds, will try to dodge grenades on higher difficulties. Like if you throw a grenade at a pack of Zeds, they'll actually see you throwing the grenade at them, and they'll kind of back away from it. Like even Skrakes will kind of like back away from a grenade if they're not aggroed on someone or if they're not charging at somebody. Those if you throw a grenade at their feet, they'll be like whoa, whoa, whoa. They'll just kind of back up. They'll back up, and then when it blows up, they'll just go on their way again. Even normal Zeds, even the little spider dudes will kind of try to dodge a grenade that's being thrown at them. Sometimes it's not always useful because they still get blown up anyway. But you know, it's cool that the Zeds are trying to kind of avoid your grenades, so you have to work for grenades. You have to throw them tactically instead of just throwing them all over the place and hoping that you get kills. Because if you only throw a grenade at one Zed, chances are if he dodges it, you're not gonna do anything. So yeah. Just keep in mind that might need to be a little bit more tactical with grenades. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. This is the end of the Killing Floor 2 Differences video series. What do I think of Killing Floor 2? So far, I think the game is great. The gore, the gameplay, everything is deserving of the Killing Floor name and the franchise. And hopefully when they add more content to Killing Floor 2 and they take it out of early access mode, they do add a lot more stuff that'll make the game popular. Diversify the experience of Killing Floor 2. Because right now, even though it is fun, the only main downside to it is that it's kind of bland to the point where we've already experienced everything that there is to experience. There's only four classes, there's only a couple weapons for each class, and there's only 3 maps in rotation. Well, there are modded maps too, but it'd be nice to have some more official maps in there as well. But obviously it's only in early access, so we can't really complain that much. But if they add those in, I'm sure Killing Floor 2 will be an excellent game, and can't wait for it to be released in its full version later on down the road. So Killing Floor 2 is available for $30 on Steam, and I think it's really well worth your money. If you are a diehard fan of Killing Floor 1, it's a must buy. You must buy Killing Floor 2. It is your duty as a Killing Floor 1 player. And if you're the kind of guy who you never really played Killing Floor 1 and you've just heard of Killing Floor 2 and you think it's kind of an interesting game to play because you like zombies or you like survival-esque games and you like first-person shooters, then I highly recommend that you also pick up Killing Floor 2 anyway, because it's a great game, and I'm sure it will become even better as time moves on and they add more stuff to it. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys later.